All right. Thanks everyone for joining us again. We'll get started with Thomas Bryant. Let's raise your hand and we'll get to you. Quinn Mayo.
What's up, TB?
What's up?
So we talked to Tommy Shepard maybe a couple weeks ago, and he told everyone that, while they were courting free agent bigs, that they told everyone Thomas Bryant was the starter. And he said that might have rubbed people the wrong way, caused them to lose some, maybe some free agents in the process. But how does that make you feel getting that vote of confidence from the GM? And have you heard that comment from Tommy Shepard? How does that make you feel?
It made me feel good, just a young guy trying to find his way into the league as well. He has a lot of confidence in me. I know my teammates have a lot of confidence in me as well. And I also have a lot of confidence in myself. My teammates know, so does Tommy. He's seen the work that I've put in throughout the summer, throughout this whole process, even in the bubble as well. So I feel confident in it. And I'm just really happy that he has that much confidence, just to say that. And it feels good to try and go back into it this year, with a fully loaded lineup.
Appreciate that.
Chase.
What's up, Thomas? So John Wall coming back, it's obviously going to change a lot of things about the offense, and guys are probably going to benefit from playing with him because he's a very passer and distributor. How do you think your game specifically will benefit from playing with him?
Well, I think my game really helps with him because, first off, he has a big that can keep up with him, that can run the floor as much as he does. He's a dynamic point guard. He's always trying to make the right plays, and, bigs really benefit from playing with him. So I take that as a personal standpoint, just me playing with Brad as well. With John as well. Me and John have also had a lot of good runs together out there in Los Angeles. We've also played pick up together. We've picked each other brains. So it's really good to, just have a dynamic point guard out there who's really looking just as good as he ever was.
Ava.
Hey, Thomas, hope you're well. Obviously, since we already asked you about getting the vote of confidence from Tommy Shepard, but you've got a guy coming in behind you who's a veteran center in the league. Just wondering how you hope that relationship works out with Robin. Obviously, you've got a lot to teach him about how the Wizards organization runs. And I guess, what do you hope to get out of him as well?
Well, I hope to pick his brain as much as I can, try and take advantage of the time that I have with him and learn as much knowledge as I can. He's been in the league a lot longer. He's played on great teams. He's also a great player himself. So there's always room to learn, from vets, especially like him, who's a dynamic big who can score in the low post and also be able to shoot the ball as well.
Fred.
Hey, Thomas, how you been, man?
What's up, my man? How you doing?
I'm good. The last time we spoke to you in a setting like this was in the bubble. And one of the big things that everybody talked about, your coaches and everybody else, was how much you improved defensively there. You've had like 3 months to reflect on that and look back on it. Mm-hmm. What did you think defensively? Like, what clicked for you there? Why did we see that uptick?
Finally saw a fully healthy TV. That's what ticked. And just the work that I put in throughout the whole off seasons and everything is starting to, all come together. There's a lot more work that I've also put in for this off season, going into this season with the Washington Wizards. I feel very, very, very confident about it. And like I said before, my teammates have seen me play, and we've gone out there, played pickup games together, and they know how I play. They've seen the work that I've put in and the improvements that I've had. And just taking more in the initial standpoint of trying to be a leader and making sure I have myself ready for this team at any moment possible.
Was your foot was bothering you that much during the first part of the season when you were playing?
Yes, that's why I was injured and out for a while.
Yeah. I'm also curious regarding playing with John. I mean, I know you guys have all watched film on him and seen kind of what he can do and tried to figure out how you fit in, but you've played with him. Has there been anything that you've learned from playing with him that you didn't realize was going to work as well as maybe it did?
Just how easily it is to, when you're a guy that really wants to play and try and do good for your teammates, and you have a dynamic point guard like John Wall, or you have a dynamic shooting guard like Bradley Beal, two all-star perimeter caliber guys who are out there, they just make the game so much more easier for you. And people really don't see it until you actually play with someone like, with that type of talent.
Chris Miller.
Thanks, Thomas.
TB, what's up, dog?
What's up, Chris? How you doing?
I'm great, brother. Great sweatshirt, by the way.
Thank you.
I think you had a 3-game stretch in the bubble where I thought you took a step. The game against Turner, Ayton, and Embiid. Those 3 games, when you play at that level, and you could argue you outplayed all 3 of them, what did that do for you internally? Because it's one thing to be good one night, but to put 3 straight games like that against your contemporaries, where did that take your level of confidence?
It's funny because I didn't even think about the 3 games. My whole standpoint was just on a level of consistency that I wanted to build, especially in that bubble, because there was always something question about, all right, he could do it one night, can he do it again? And that was my biggest thing, was trying to show that I can build this over a consistent level day in and day out. And that was a real key part about this summer as well, just putting the days in, but also can you compete at a very, very high level for multiple days in a row, week after week, day after day, no matter what. And that was the real big mental part that I had to get through, to push through. And I feel like I did that in the bubble, and I feel like I'm doing that a lot now.
One thing about playing with John that I'm sure that you've noticed now is something that's small that you never see on the stat sheet will actually benefit you, and that's just setting screens.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we've talked about this before, obviously, with Gortat. The guy just ate off of just rolling to the basket. With your athleticism and your ability to run with John, do you think something as simple as solid screen setting will open up your game offensively?
Oh, yes, for sure. I feel like that will open up so much because, John is such a great point guard to where he can read any type of closeout that an opposing big can share with it, that go against him. And that's up to me just to roll, and he finds me. That's an easy bucket right there. Or him finding open shots for everyone else on the team, that really helps. And just to have a big that can really, run, likes to get up and down the floor just as much as he does, I feel like that's very, very dynamic as well.
Appreciate you, brother. Good to see you.
Thank you. You too.
Neil.
Hey, Thomas. Hope you've had a good off season. Obviously, with playing with John, the speed and pace of things will probably be accelerated even more so than what you guys already had with Ish. How do you think your game fits into, that high level of pace?
My game fits into that high level of pace because, with our Wizards work organization, we want to get up and down the court. We want to play fast, get easy buckets. And I've always been a player that always, like I said, always use my energy, my grit, my toughness, and my conditioning as my advantage too. A big that can always get up and down the court. So I feel like that's really good because, you put those two together and you try and figure out a way to develop each day throughout each practice in each game. I feel like that's a real big weapon of disaster for other teams.
Dave Johnson.
Hey, Thomas, Scott's mentioned that you as a team were getting better defensively as last season went on right into the bubble. Do you feel like the Wizards are a more confident team defensively right now? And if so, why? And how do you expect John Wall to help defensively?
Yes, I feel like all of us are very, very, very confident on the defensive end this year, because we all know we have to take pride in it. We all came in with a great mindset of like, we want to play fast, we want to lock down on defense, and we had to go out there and do that. And I feel confident in myself because I've put in the work, I've put in so much time and effort on specific things, especially on the defensive end, that I know that I'm really, really, really good at.
And do you expect John to help? Is there that sense that not only is it great he's coming back offensively, but is there that feeling among the team that, wow, this is going to help us defensively?
Oh, yes, for sure. We have a dynamic point guard that's not just as good on offensive, but just as good at defensive end as well. It takes a lot of pride in the defensive end or in to getting stops and then getting out and getting easy buckets.
Chase.
Thomas, one thing I didn't realize about you until recently was you have like one of the very biggest wingspans in the league. I mean, it's up there with the Goberts and the Taco Falls and those types of guys. How do you sort of, I guess, utilize that on defense? And what have you done to develop the instincts and the reflexes to, utilize that natural talent?
Things that I've worked on is just basically keep going into the training like I did every summer. Just really focus on it. Try and make every single workout game-like, no matter what it is, and it translates over into the game. So I think that was a real big thing for me as well. What was the other question you asked?
Well, just I guess more specifically, I saw a video of you this offseason. You were in like the pool and like you're facing forward and you got to catch. I think it was balls to your left or right. Like what have you done? I would imagine that's to kind of develop your reflexes and your instincts and your sort of hand-eye coordination. What types of things have you done in that way?
Like you said before, the tennis ball things, but also just quick reactions of moving laterally, getting out and running, and just on a quick twitch standpoint of trying to react faster, recover faster, anything of that sort.
Ava.
Thomas, Scott yesterday had an interesting game. He called you one of the young veterans on the team. And obviously you guys have a lot of young pieces, yourself still a young guy. You've got John and Brad on the leadership kind of end of things. Just wondering where you think you fit in here from a leadership standpoint or from somebody, obviously you're still trying to learn and grow, but how do you kind of see your place on the team from that point of view?
I see my place on the team as as a key guy on this team, of course. And then also a guy that understands what we're trying to do. And I feel like I could relate it better, to some of my teammates or try and make it to where we benefit in any way, shape, or form that we can. Try and keep a positive outlook on everything and never hold my head too high or too low. Always have an even keel about things. And I try and give that off to my teammates as much as possible. And being a young guy who's a so-called a young vet, sometimes you got to lead by example and, putting that work in and day out, people see that, teammates see that, coaches see that. That makes people want to elevate their level even more.
Cool. Thank you.
Quentin.
Hey, TV, I remember talking to you last year on Media Day and we asked you about your goals, and you said you had most improved player as one of your goals for the season, as well as improving on the defensive side of the ball and your screen setting. And, obviously, some injuries hampered that and, moving forward, but you did redeem yourself in the bubble. So I guess my question for you now is, this season, do you have any personal goals you have set for yourself to kind of like bounce back from that momentum that you did have in the bubble, and also maybe some goals for the team as well?
My personal goal is really a team goal, and that's to win. And that's really the biggest standpoint right there. We have a whole bunch of guys that want to win. I think we felt that in the bubble, and we don't want to feel that type of feeling again. And we know that we got key dynamic players back, and we know if we keep building off of what we did in that bubble, even though it didn't show on the scoreboard, in the locker room, we really grew. So I feel like if we keep doing that, my end goal is to win, and I want to win with my teammates.
Mm-hmm. Appreciate that.
Joshua.
Hey, Thomas, how are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
I have a question. You have a pretty short preseason coming up. How's that going to affect newcomers like Denny Avdia? And what do you know about Denny Avdia coming into the season? Thanks so much.
He's a very dynamic player, can get to the rim, can shoot the ball, played a lot overseas, has a really good skill set as well that translates over to the NBA. Really, really good. It fits our system of how he plays really well as good as well too. The short preseason, it is how it is. We have to adjust. We're basketball players. We have to adjust to different things. So that just means you got to put in the work twice as much, with this off season right here in this little these little workouts that we have. Take it seriously, and do as much as you can. Be in the best shape as you can, and take advantage of your time. No matter if it's short, long, doesn't matter.
Chris Miller.
TB, each young player in this league has that moment where they feel like not only have they arrived, but they belong in this league. Do you remember the moment or the game where you walked off the floor and you said, I belong in the NBA?
Man, actually happened a couple games. It happened a couple games last year, and when I finally got the opportunity to play as well. I don't remember specifically the game. I know one of them last year was coming off of the injury the first time, and we're playing at home against a really good playoff team. But we won the game and everything. But that was one time, and then of course the year where I got the opportunity as well was where I felt like as there was another part of me that felt like I belonged here.
All right. Thank you, TB, for joining us. We'll see you guys back at 1 o'clock for Anthony Gill. Also, we'll send out the recording for this availability to your email. Thank you, TB.
No problem.
Appreciate you, TB.
Thank you.
Thank you, Darren.